вами Crazy Hamster. Мы продолжаем проходить ремейк второй части квеста «Сломанный меч». В прошлый раз мы с вами очень быстро, так в темпе вальса, добрались до Куарамонте. И теперь давайте здесь осмотримся, посмотрим, есть ли какие-то изменения. Ну, изменения, конечно, по сравнению с оригинальной версией игры. Потому что, честно сказать, я не жду чего-то особенного.
Welcome to Kуарамонте.
Thanks. Can we get a cab to the capital?
This is the capital, Kуарамонте City.
When's the next ship out of here?
But, senor, don't you like our beautiful country?
В прошлый раз мы, кстати, по-моему, сказали, что нравится, но Джордж гад какую-то пакость сказал. Давайте сразу скажем, что не нравится. Посмотрим, что будет.
Frankly, it sucks.
You better be quick and get aboard that ship. Otherwise, you're going to be here for a week.
We've had enough. We're going back to the ship.
Okay. You show me your brown card?
Huh? What brown card is that?
The official exit visa.
Да, грубовато получилось. Ладно, бог с ним. Козел.
Hi.
You wanna buy something?
No, not really.
I got cabbages. Buy a cabbage, senor.
I don't think so. I didn't come all this way to buy vegetables. Listen, have you heard of Condor Transglobal?
No. Buy a cabbage. I'll give you a discount on bulk purchases.
I'm not into cabbages. Have you ever seen anything like this before?
Aye, Tezcatlipoca. Put it away, senor. Tezcatlipoca brings nothing but evil.
The poor guy was so freaked, he didn't even mention his cabbages. See ya.
И что ж ты фиг с тобой? Если и со своей капустой, в общем. Ну, в смысле, с его капустой. Не с нашей.
Hi there. What have you got for sale?
Okay.
I said, what have you got? Oh, never mind.
Понятно. Теперь кто-то не разговаривает на английском. Удивительно.
Hi. Lovely bread.
Okay.
Bread. Pan?
Sí, pan.
Maybe I'll come back later when I'm hungry.
С толпой мы поговорить не можем. Ну, в общем, ничего не изменилось.
Those things are gourds, aren't they?
Sí.
Hey! Mind the footwear, lady. Do you have crabs?
No, only fish.
Nice fish.
Thanks.
If, by some remote chance, I ever need a fish, I'll be back. Do you recognize this statue?
Sí, señor. It is very, very bad luck. That is Tezcatlipoca, Night Hunter.
I know, but I don't believe in luck, good or bad.
You may not now, but you will.
The guy looked scared out of his wits.
В общем, мы можем народ пугать.
Go away.
Так, ну, с первым мы потом поговорим. Давайте через тем. Оркестр. Ну уж не оркестр, музыканты.
Hey, cheer up, guys. What's with the long faces?
Our pipe player has been arrested and thrown in jail.
Poor Miguel. He never broke the law in his life.
Why was Miguel put in jail?
For playing folk music.
What?
It's true, senor. He insisted on playing traditional Kouaramonte music, even though it's illegal.
Why don't you try playing a tune to cheer yourselves up?
No, we should be looking for real jobs.
We could earn 10 times as much down the mines. My cousin Ramirez was earning 8 pesos an hour.
Before he lost his legs in the accident.
Tell me about the accident at the mine.
There was an explosion at Teoculcan. 30 miners were buried alive.
They got some of them out though.
2 of them, including your cousin, and they left half of him behind.
Would either of you guys care for a biscuit?
A dog biscuit, senor?
Are you trying to insult us?
No, really, they're good.
We'll take your word for it.
Have you any idea what this is?
No, senor.
Me neither.
По-моему, все вообще никаких отличий.
Take a look at the design on this label.
I have seen that before.
Where?
There was a ship flying a flag just like that.
When did you see this ship?
3 months ago. It was here, at the docks.
Do you guys know anything about a total eclipse?
What is it?
It's like when the sun is hidden by the moon.
It's crazy.
My cousin Alfredo swears he saw it happen once. But that was after he stupidly consumed a cocktail of peyote and antibiotics.
What was the ship with the condor flag carrying?
I don't know, senor. We weren't allowed near the docks.
That's right. Usually we meet the ships when they tie up.
We play to the tourists.
Well, when the condor ship came in, we were told to go away.
Have you seen anything like...
I, the hungry chief.
Why are you carrying that thing around with you, senor? Don't you know who it is?
Sure, it's Tezcatlipoca. But it's only a little carving.
It brings death, senor. Death and destruction.
Червяк у нас остался.
What do you make of this little worm?
No good. It's dead.
Sure it's dead. You think I'd carry it around in my pocket if it wasn't?
Так, ну, я никаких изменений не замечаю. Причем совсем никаких. По-моему, текст точно такой же, как и был. Искать это немножко расстраивает.
In Kouaramонте, defacing a poster was probably a capital offense. It looked to me like an early portrait of Orson Welles. Now, I like most animals, but experience had made me wary of goats, and cats, and dogs.
Причем казалось, блин, что и капуста есть, козел есть. Но, как выяснилось, собственно, так мы и ни с козлом не пообщаемся. Ни капусты не купим.
Hola, señora.
Hi, we were wondering...
I was talking to the lady, Chico.
Hi, my name is Nicole Collard.
Concha Garcia. How can I help you, sister?
The corporation I represent is considering a major investment in Kouaramonte. Your advice, as the head of an obviously successful concern, is precisely what I'm after. My assistant, Mr. Stobart, has a few questions he'd like to ask you.
Have you heard of a man named Karzak?
No? Who is he?
He's the reason we came to Kouaramonte. We think he's running a drug ring.
Well, I hope you find him, but I've never heard the name before.
Can you tell me about the accident at the mine?
Accident? It was sabotage. Somebody wanted my mine closed down for good.
Do you have any evidence that the mine was sabotaged?
Not yet, but I'll get to the bottom of it. There'd been trouble at that mine for several months. The workforce was getting smaller every day. Someone had started a rumor among the men that the mine was cursed. Now the entire operation has been closed down.
Where's the site of the mine?
Several days upriver at a remote area known as Teoculcan.
Do you recognize the icon on this label?
Condor Transglobal.
Did the company operate here in Karamonte?
Yes, they ran an old container ship, the Mayan Princess.
Do you know who owned Condor Transglobal?
I have no idea.
Have you heard about the forthcoming eclipse?
I don't take much interest in things like that. One of the boys might know about it.
Does this stone mean anything to you?
I think it is a spirit stone carved by a Mayan priest, no? I don't know which of their many gods it represents.
Так, ну я не думаю, что есть смысл спрашивать. Ну ладно, давайте про статуэтку спросим.
Can you tell me anything about this statue?
It is Tezcatlipoca, the god of death and pestilence. That fetish would be considered by many to be a bad omen.
В общем, тут только оскорблять ее и ерунду всякую спрашивать. Не будем терять на это время, тем более, что мы все это уже слышали. Шкаф тоже пока не полезем. Я даже не знаю, есть ли смысл разговаривать вот с этими всеми товарищами, потому что в прошлый раз они нам ничего не помогли. Давайте мы отсюда свалим, наверное. Пойдемте разговаривать уже с туристами. Если бы мы не проходили, конечно, лучше бы было со всеми поговорить, мало ли, только что ты пропустишь. Но когда ты уже все знаешь, и текст они особо не поменяли, смысл еще раз про всякую ерунду спрашивать. Там единственное, что только один расскажет про вечеринку, но я не думаю, что это особо важная информация. Но если что, подойдем. Если вдруг застрянем по какой-то там причине.
George Stobart, well of all the...
Mrs. Henderson. Boy, this is some coincidence, huh?
When you've been married to a fruitcake like Dwayne as long as I have, you stop believing in coincidence.
I'd met Pearl and Dwayne on the other side of the globe in Syria. He was an army veteran who suspected he was working for the CIA, but wasn't sure. She was less obviously deranged. Is Dwayne here with you, Mrs. Henderson?
Why, sure, I couldn't leave him home alone. Since Dwayne came back from the war, we couldn't bear to be apart.
So, where is he now?
We ain't speaking.
Why aren't you speaking to Dwayne?
Because he's an old spoil sport sourpuss. I want to visit one of those old pyramid places, but Dwayne says he has to stay in town.
Right. And you don't want to go on your own?
Well, there's no point in going to the pyramid if there's no one around to take my picture.
Is Dwayne still working for the CIA?
If he is, he doesn't know it. He's what they call a snoozer.
Don't you mean a sleeper?
No, this is different. He used to think he worked for them, but the psychotherapy cured him of that. What he doesn't realize is that now he really does work for them. At least that's the way I understood it.
What brings you to Kуарамонте, Pearl?
What takes me just about anywheres. The market.
You drove 2,000 miles to go shopping?
Shopping is my role in the economy of the great design, George.
Так, затмение.
Take a look at this news cutting, Pearl.
You'll have to read it to me, George. I left my specs in a gay bar in Santa Barbara.
Well, it's about an eclipse of the sun, which is due to occur in a few weeks' time.
You'd think the government would warn us about these kind of things.
It's not dangerous or anything. Apparently, the best place to view the eclipse is right here in Kуарамонте.
Oh, my.
She didn't appear to be the slightest bit interested.
Ну да, если только рынок интересует. Так, ну, все. Показывать ей всякие статуэтки смысла не имеет. Пойдемте с Дуэйном разговаривать. И профессором, он должен быть там. А, нет, профессора еще нет, он потом появится. Ну, как раз из полиции, значит, когда выйдем. Ну, значит, по крайней мере, с Дуэйном поговорим. Джордж, ты куда? Одеты все исключительно одинаково. Та дамочка была в зеленую одежду одета как Николь цветом, а Дуэн прям цвет Джорджа.
It was Pearl's husband, Dwayne. Hey, Mr. Anderson. Good to see you again.
Do I know you, son?
George Stobart, remember? In Syria? I sold you a statue.
I remember that. Pearl was mighty vexed when the paint came off.
Look, I'm sorry. I'll give you back the $50.
No, you suckered me fair and square.
Что-то как-то Дуэн здесь выглядит несколько по-другому. Здесь, посмотрите, у него подбородок более такой какой-то массивный. И мне такое ощущение, что лысина больше, а здесь как-то молодо он слишком выглядит. Ну. Статуэтка, краска слезла.
Are you still working for... you know who?
You know I can't talk about my work, George. That's between me and Uncle Sam.
Does the name Karzak mean anything to you?
Sounds like a comic book villain to me, son.
He's the man behind Condor, and the rat who kidnapped Nico.
You know, the first time I met you, I was deeply impressed with your naive simplicity. I said to Pearl, if we ever had kids, I would have wanted a boy like George. But I underestimated you, son.
Как-то нарисовано такое ощущение, что они здесь вообще ровесники. Это сынок. Что-то мне не нравится, если честно.
Did you know that traditional music is illegal in Karamonte?
Is that so? Seems reasonable to me.
No, really. The leader of the band in the square has been imprisoned just because of the music he played.
I don't know who you've been talking to, but that fella, Miguel, he's an agitator.
What's the real reason the musician was imprisoned?
Handed out subversive literature at the mines. That so-called general was waiting for Miguel when he got back into town. Marched him off to jail at gunpoint on a charge of inciting a riot.
I spoke to Pearl earlier.
Yeah? Did she mention that we had a kind of falling out?
Yes, she did.
She'll get over it.
Did you drive all the way down here?
Hell no. Pearl did the driving while I followed the maps. The way she handled the wheel, you'd think she'd been trucking half her life.
Why did you bring a huge truck like that?
George, I'm on a top-secret classified mission for Uncle Sam. This truck is a rolling bomb. 400 pounds of nitrate fertilizer with a plastique initiator. They'll hear the bang in China. Gee, I'm really looking forward to this.
Do you know anything about a shipping company called Condor Transglobal?
Sure I do. You have to get up pretty early to catch Dwayne with his pants down.
What? You beat me to it?
Condor Transglobal is all wound up. Seems like my investigations scared them off.
Да, как всегда, что-то вроде говорит, но не факт, что здесь действительно что-то расследует. Так, остальное мы не будем тут обсуждать.
Stealing trucks wasn't my style. It was Dwayne's truck, packed with high explosive. According to that amiable old paranoid, reminded me of the time I was in Syria. But that's another story.
Да, он уже упал на один грузовик сверху.
Hi, I'm George Stobart. What can you tell me about the mining company?
The general closed down one of their mines after the explosion. Lots of folks lost their lives. I was lucky. I only lost my legs.
Do you recognize the design on this label?
Why, sure. That's the Condor Transglobal Shipping Company logo.
Do they have an office in Kуарамонте?
No, but they ship out from here.
That's what I thought. Did you see the ship with the Condor flag?
No.
But the dock is just the other side of the square.
Might as well be the other side of the moon.
Have you heard about the eclipse of the sun?
Sure, I'm having a party to celebrate it. Drop by.
Really?
Sure, plenty of food, plenty of wine, and everyone's invited, except the general.
Так, ну... Много текста. Для нас неинтересного, мы все тоже слышали и знаем. Повторюсь, если кто-то впервые видит только ремейк и оригинальную версию игры не просматривал, с нами не проходил, то учтите, что я здесь очень много пропускаю, мне неинтересно проходить одно и то же дважды, потому что изменений здесь никаких нет, мы уже поиграли в оригинальную версию, там все то же самое, практически, поэтому здесь такое более ускоренное прохождение, просто посмотреть на изменения, а уже более полная версия со всеми диалогами, со всеми обсуждениями в оригинальной версии. Там, ну, чуть-чуть, может быть, качество похоже. В принципе, все то же самое. Ну, вот этих вот всех фигнюх нету, которые абсолютно ничего не дают. Поэтому спокойно можете смотреть ту версию прохождения со всеми диалогами и так далее. Вот, профессор.
With the mine closed down, there'll be no one around to observe your excavations. Ah, I have visitors.
Just remember what I told you, General. There's really no need to make a martyr out of that man.
I'm sorry to keep you waiting, senor. Welcome to Kouarmonte.
Thanks. My name's George Stobart from California.
But what is this? An angel come down to earth.
Nicole Collard. Enchanté, mon général.
Pardon me, senorita, but I couldn't help myself.
Look, we'd like to ask you a few questions.
You've come to the right place, senor. Tourist information. General Graciento, at your service.
Ух, и опять много слушать.
This is the tourist office? It says police on the sign outside.
It is both, senor. I am a man of many parts.
I can see that, General.
Have you heard of a guy called Karzak?
No. No, I never heard of him.
I hear there was an accident at the mine a few months ago.
That's correct.
A lot of men killed, weren't there?
A few.
30?
Barely 1% of the working population.
Is it true there's a restriction on music in Kouaramonte?
Yes, there is. An emergency measure introduced by Nuestra Senora.
Folk music is a link with the past for some of these people. Take away their musical roots and what do they got left?
Easy listening.
You think easy listening could replace a musical heritage hundreds of years old?
Why not? It happened in your country.
Какой в вашей стране многих веков? Ну, если только я не имею в виду индейцев.
Are there any ruins around the city?
Of course, senor. Kouaramонte has everything.
I have a friend who wants to visit an historical site.
Ronaldo will only be too pleased to conduct a guided tour when he's dealt with today's paperwork, of course.
Who was the guy you were talking to when we arrived?
Professor Ubier, a visitor, senor, like yourselves.
Did you say Ubier?
Si, senor. Professor Ubier, a French archaeologist.
What's Ubier doing in Kouaramonte?
Researching our rich and glorious past, senor. The professor is planning an expedition to some Mayan ruins. He came to see me to get an excavation permit.
We've had enough of Kouaramonte and we want out.
Am I stopping you?
The guy at the docks tells me I need an exit visa.
Ask Ronaldo. He'll make the arrangements. That's what he's here for.
С этой визой тоже, кстати, непонятно, потому что в итоге так нам ничего и не понадобилось.
Take a look at this label.
Si, senor. Condor Transglobal.
Can you tell me where to find their offices?
No, senor. I never heard of them, and neither did Ronaldo.
The lady at the mining company told us a ship belonging to Condor was here recently.
Conchita Garcia is crazy. If there had been a ship, do you think I wouldn't have noticed?
Are you sure you never heard of Condor?
Oh, yes.
The company is registered here in Kouaramonte City.
You are mistaken, senorita.
The musicians out in the square say that a ship flying the Condor flag was birthed here.
They are simple peasants. They will go along with anything you say in the hopes of parting you from your money.
Condor is run by Karzak, isn't it?
Wrong again, senor. Karzak has nothing to do with anything called Condor, whoever he is.
Do you keep a record of companies registered in Kouaramonte?
Of course, senorita. Unfortunately, all the records were destroyed by a flash flood.
Ну, в общем, понятно. Ничего нам не поможет. Пошлите поговорим.
I wasn't going to try investigating the passage
понятно.
while the general was sat there.
А с этим, со вторым?
Hi, I'm George Stobart.
Hello, senor. How can I help you?
I'd like to visit your prisoner.
Condemned prisoners aren't allowed visitors.
Condemned?
To death. He is to be executed. Knowing my luck, I will probably have to shoot him myself.
Amnesty International is going to hear about this. I thought Miguel was arrested for playing the wrong kind of music.
Si, senor, he was.
And that carries the death penalty?
No. You think we're crazy? While being questioned, he confessed to being an anti-government agent.
Are there any ancient pyramids near Kouaramonte?
Si, senor. But it's not very impressive. It's in ruins.
That's perfect. Would you be willing to give a guided tour of the ruins?
I can't. The General would have a fit if I left all this paperwork.
I'm trying to get out of Kouaramonte.
If I had $1 for every time I heard that, I'd be able to buy back half my family.
Never mind them. What about my visa?
We don't take visa.
I didn't ask if you take a visa. I want you to give me a visa.
I can't help you, senor. I don't understand these things.
You know anything about this eclipse?
No, senor. El General keeps me in the dark about most things.
В общем, в итоге, жить бы мы оставили здесь.
So long.
Так, я не помню, куда нам нужно сначала подойти, потому что нам нужно отвлечь генерала и выкрасть этого Мигеля. Но сначала нужно принять решение о том, что нам его нужно выкрасть. Наверное, сначала с этой дамой поговорить нужно. Из компании. А, мы с Николь должны поговорить.
You came on a little strong with the general.
I was merely flattering his ego, George. Every man has his Achilles heel.
Maybe, but that guy's weakness isn't in his foot. Labano tells me he's been seeing a lot of you.
We meet sometimes for lunch, a drink. After you'd gone back to the States, I was pretty lonely, you know.
Lonely? You must have been desperate. Couldn't you just visit the zoo or something? That man we saw talking to the general was Ubier. Didn't you recognize him?
I never met him, remember? The guy I called in Paris claimed to be Ubier, but he sounded nothing like the man in the police station. Maybe the professor really is innocent.
Nah, it's too much of a coincidence that he's here in Kouaramonte. Take a look at this.
Mon Dieu! Where did you get that kind of money?
It's not mine. I found that statement at Ubier's house.
Так, пойдемте попробуем с этой мадам поговорить. Сейчас, как я не помню, с кем с первым нужно поговорить. С музыкантами, с мадам, с Дуэйном. Но точно не с Николь, потому что про генерала сейчас разговора не было. Идем, может, к себе без Николь.
Do you know Professor Ubier?
Yes, I understand he is about to embark on an archaeological expedition. He hired some equipment from me earlier today.
I overheard him talking to the general. I think they're working together.
What? If I'd known that, I wouldn't have hired out the equipment. Now, why would the general be interested in an archaeologist?
Понятно. Вначале надо с профессором же поговорить. Точно, он же с дуэлем сейчас находится. Косяк мой. И склероз. Ну как так можно было сделать ремейк, абсолютно не поменяв игру? Ну, по-моему, это свинство. Это не ремейк, это попытка продать одну и ту же игру 2 раза, добавить 2 фигнюшки и радоваться.
Professor Ubier?
Yes? Who are you?
My name is Stobart. George Stobart.
Я, кстати, поняла, почему у нас в этот раз немножко по-другому. Мы, по-моему, в прошлый раз сначала в полицию зашли, потом дошли до грузовика, потому профессор был уже вместе с Дуэйном, а здесь получилось, что мы сначала поговорили с Дуэйном. Вот. Понятно теперь.
Does the name Karzak mean anything to you?
Yes, I know him. In fact, if it wasn't for Karzak, I wouldn't be here.
What?
He's financing my expedition.
Tell me about your wife, Professor.
Please, I don't want to talk about her.
You shot her, didn't you?
No! I loved Carol. She meant the world to me.
В прошлый раз мы когда спросили вот это просто про нее, там что случилось или что-то такое, он, по-моему, сказал, я не буду разговаривать на эту тему, и все. Потом я решила попробовать узнать, все-таки, если мы так в лоб ты ее убил, может быть, больше информации. Ну, в принципе, все равно он все отрицает, и на этом наш разговор заканчивается. И снова поговорить о его жене уже не дают.
What do you know about my girlfriend's abduction?
I don't know what you're talking about.
She was invited to your mansion in Paris.
Not by me, she wasn't. I haven't been home for nearly 7 months.
Have you ever employed a Central American butler or servant?
I've never employed any kind of servant, monsieur.
Do you see this label?
Yes. It refers to a company named Condor. What of it?
I traced that company here, to Kouaramonte. Do you know where I can find the offices of Condor Transglobal?
The company no longer exists. They went bankrupt recently.
I have proof that you are directly involved with Condor.
I used them as shippers to transport artifacts to a gallery in Paris. Beyond that, I have no connection with the company, which, as I said, no longer exists.
Take a look at this, Professor. What have you got to say about that?
Where did you get this?
Never mind that. How do you explain these withdrawals?
I left my financial affairs in the hands of my secretary.
Including the withdrawal of funds in cash from your personal account?
I trust Gwyneth implicitly.
And why Marseille? Why the very place my girlfriend was taken?
That's obvious, Stobart. We are both the victims of the same devious plot.
Now, what plot?
I have no idea.
Do you know anything about this eclipse, Professor?
Of course. It's not the reason I'm here in Kouaramonte, but I'm looking forward to seeing it all the same.
Мы, кстати, в прошлый раз показывали всем камень, и нам потом Николь втык устроила, сказала, что ты всем светишь-то его. Поэтому в этот раз не будем его вам показывать. Зачем?
What's your interest in the eclipse, Professor?
Oh, it's purely a layman's curiosity. History is my subject, not astronomy. But I've been fascinated by the movements of the heavenly bodies since I was a child. I wouldn't miss a total eclipse for the world.
Зачем тебе затмение? Ну всем интересно посмотреть.
Does the eclipse have some special significance for you?
For me? No. For the ancient Mayans, it marked the end of the 5th age.
Perhaps we should be celebrating.
Ah, no. The end of each age heralds destruction on a global scale. The 5th is the final age, ending in the total destruction of the Earth.
Can you identify this statue, Professor?
Oh yes. Tezcatlipoca, the Lord of Darkness.
A Central American god, right?
A supreme deity. Tezcatlipoca means, literally, smoking mirror. There. You see the mirror shield in his left hand? The Mayans believed he could look into the mirror and see into the hearts of men. He was the wind which came howling in the night in search of victims. And victims they gave him by the thousand.
Human sacrifices?
Men, women, children, animals, anything that bled. The steps of his temple ran red with the blood of sacrifices. The Mayans have a legend that says he'll return one day. I hope I'm not around to see it.
Так, ну, про печеньки и про камень мы говорить не будем. Печеньки это глупо, а камень пусть останется с нами. Так. А сейчас вот представьте, насколько все-таки затмение интересная и странная вещь. И, наверное, для древних это действительно, для людей, не понимающих, что происходит, действительно было, ну, чем-то, наверное, просто грандиозным и абсолютно непонятным. Ну, как для нас бы сейчас, представьте, если бы солнце вдруг исчезло, и мы бы не понимали, что произошло. Я думаю, что тоже и богов бы всех приплели, что бы только не придумали. Да и вообще, даже то, что сейчас мы знаем, что есть планеты, то есть, извините, огромное темное пространство, в котором какие-то планеты, которые могут перекрывать светило, и мы на каком-то шаре с вами сидим, и сейчас это вот все обсуждаем, играем в какие-то квесты. Как-то все в голове не укладывается, конечно. Вот, поэтому действительно, даже сейчас затмение это что-то грандиозное, по крайней мере, впечатляющее явление. Но для древних это было совсем просто... Действительно, какие-то боги разгневались, конец эпохи и прочее. Так, кто помнит, куда нам теперь идти? С Дуэйном разговаривать, давайте попробуем все-таки поговорить с ним. Я, честно сказать, не помню, куда нам нужно идти. Что, не хочет с Дуэйном разговаривать?
Do you think the general was involved with Condor?
Hell no. And if he's a general, I'm a Buddhist. No, that fella's just a mouthpiece for the real power in Kouaramonte.
So the general is nothing but a puppet?
He's like Pinocchio before he met the Blue Rinse Fairy. Strictly strings and wood.
Who's pulling the strings?
His mother. Better known as La Presidenta, the dictator.
Так, давайте теперь попробуем поговорить. Кто он там, Кончита? Взяли хорошее имя, испортили плохими ассоциациями. С этой Кончитой. Ну давайте с первого поговорим. Раз уж по дороге.
Have you met the guy who calls himself the general?
No, I haven't. Is he a real general?
I guess so. He wears a lot of medals on his chest. The wrong side of his chest. At least for any army I'd ever seen. I hear you drove all the way to Kouaramonte in a truck.
That's right. You would not believe the state of some of those roads. Makes me downright sad to think there's still some places you can't reach in an automobile. In this day and age, you'd think there'd be decent highways just about anywhere folk choose to go.
Did you know that the truck was full of explosives?
Whatever gave you that idea, as if I couldn't guess?
Your husband. He was exaggerating, wasn't he?
Sometimes I wonder how I'm gonna cope with Dwayne's over-fertile imagination.
Catch you later, Pearl.
Куарамонте Mine Company. Давай. Поговорим с тобой. Ага, нельзя, да? А с этим? Секретарем?
Hi.
Good afternoon, and welcome to Consolidated Mining. If you are planning to stay in Kуарамонте City, may I recommend the Consolidated Mining Experience, an interactive hands-on tour of one of our deepest mines, with talking tour guides available in 3 different languages.
A tour of a mine.
Well, this is a mining company. What else did you expect?
Do you know anything about the eclipse that's due soon?
Me? No, senor.
Do you know where I could find Senor Karzak?
No, senor.
Ну, нас не пустят. Так, рано, значит, еще с ней разговаривать. С кем не поговорили? Еще раз с генералом? Или с Николь, блин? Или с музыкантами? Не помню. Вот здесь порядок не помню. Ладно, сейчас разберемся.
Tell me about the general. You know, the guy in charge around here.
We don't want to talk about him, senor.
How come? No one can hear you. Well, only that old goat.
In Kуарамонте we have a saying. Don't tell your old goat what you don't want your wife to know.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Ладно, пойдемте в полицию.
Hey, Nico!
Наверное, с генералом что-то нужно поговорить. Информация у нас поднакопилась. Нифига, да?
Do you know anything about the forthcoming eclipse, General?
Such things do not interest me, senor.
I'll be back.
Ладно, давайте попробуем поговорить с Николь. Ну, не здесь, по крайней мере. Ой, чё ж мы с кем не поговорили-то?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Этот, может быть, пробовать сначала в окно покричать, там же еще окно.
There was a forlorn-looking guy asleep on the floor of the jail. It was Miguel, the pipe player. Hey, Miguel! He didn't hear me. There was a forlorn-looking... It was Miguel. It was one of the cell windows. Is Miguel the reason you're here?
Pretty smart, George. I was supposed to make contact with him. By the time I found him, though, he was in jail. I've been trying to figure out a way to get him out since then.
Sounds good to me. Count me in.
Good man, George.
Вот.
All I need is a detonator.
Did you find any evidence of Condor's drug smuggling operations?
Drugs? Hell no! Condor was a cover for the illegal export of Mayan artifacts.
Вроде все знает, но как-то подозрительно он выглядит, да?
So who was behind Condor Transglobal?
It was registered in the name of Edan.
Did you get the guy?
I don't think he ever existed. Edan backwards spells Nady, Spanish for nobody.
How come you brought a truckload of explosives but no detonator?
Call me old-fashioned, but I say packing trunks is woman's work. I left the packing to Pearl, and I can't find a darn thing. Just hope she remembered to bring my denture polish. I'd sure hate to arrive back in the States with tar on my teeth.
Так, пойдемте теперь к той Кончите. Что нужен детонатор, и только она может помочь с этим. И все же не изменили, что можно вот там проходить за полицейским участком. Даже этого не изменили. Хотя в ремейке первой части там такие вещи были изменены.
Do you have any kind of detonating device in stock?
Sure. They're kept in that cupboard.
I don't suppose you have one spare?
I can't simply give you a device like that, no, without a damn good reason.
Пока нет, до этого резона. Там что-то опять с этим генералом связано. В общем, я точно не помню, как здесь нужно по порядку идти. И мы разберемся, потому что здесь просто нужно со всеми разговаривать по порядку подряд. И в итоге к правильному решению придем. Просто я думаю, что, наверное, на сегодня уже хватит на эту часть. Здесь уже довольно у нас. По времени будет длиться все это. Поэтому встретимся уже в следующей части и быстренько попытаемся пройти. Здесь, конечно, очень медленно получилось, потому что очень много разговоров, совсем пропускать их не хочется. Но, конечно, пока не очень радует игра. Нет, игра классная, но если только ты не прошло ее только что, и она осталась абсолютно без изменений. Так что до встречи в следующей части. Всем пока!